Housekeeping.
That's not the open. Who's excited for game 81? Game 1 through 82.
Well, no, we need to do the math. Game 1 of how many do you need? How many home games to win it all?
So off the top of my head, I was telling
4 rounds. We'd be hosting all 4 rounds.
It was 24 last year for the Panthers. So.
I was thinking you want to have a
106.
I was thinking you want to have 96 to 100.
Okay.
Like I said, yeah, this is game 1. I was talking to Punt and Pooch, and they were like, "You're going to the Hurricanes game?" And I was like, "Yeah, but don't worry, there's going to be a lot more. Definitely 82, and hopefully about 96 to 100."
Welcome to the OG Butchers Market Live. I'm Joe Giglio. That's Chip Patterson. You know Chip. And you know Hayes Permar. Look at this. This is like a Broughton reunion.
You're getting double teamed today, Giulio.
Yeah.
a lucky Broughton, a lucky Sco-Caps over here for me.
It's a bell tower. It's not a tower.
So the Canes open up tonight.
Let's
7:30 right across the street at the Lenovo Center. They're taking on the New Jersey Devils, a team they saw in the playoffs last year. And we will be giving away tickets. Just come by the local, fill out your name, hold up the blue tickets for everyone so they can see Hayes. Throw your name on the ticket, throw it in the fishbowl. And
Superfan Andrew Crook over here, already in, and already got an OG light.
Oh, perfect. No OG lights today. But
he asked for one. I asked for one.
So we'll have a drawing around 6 o'clock. So if you can get over here, I have 2 tickets, section 303. They are Giglio approved seats from my fat ass.
Big boy.
So they're good. I promise you they're good. Don't be scared by the 300 number. They're actually one of the better spots in the house to watch the game. So we'll do that about 6 o'clock. We have a recorded interview that Joe Ovius and I did with Seth Jarvis.
Hulu star.
If you're, Amazon.
My bad.
If you're with children, I would strongly caution not listening to that interview with Seth Jarvis, because Seth Jarvis went full on with me and Joe into the difference between asshole and motherfucker.
Yeah.
And
we
got Nikolai Ehlers. We have a grade for him, and we have a grade for Keandre Miller. I think you could probably guess which one came out to be motherfucker and which one didn't. So we went full on with that. Okay. So again, if you're with the children or the youths,
they can listen now when you said asshole and motherfucker,
right? But not later.
Not later. Yeah.
100%.
Well, because then it's also crushing the dreams of Seth Jarvis. We don't want to mess up, know, the way that children view one of our franchise cornerstones.
Yes. So we don't want to hurt his public image.
But look at this. This is from Ovius and Giglio collection. You know, the link, Breaking Tea.
Look below. There's a link on Breaking Tea. We get a little bit of cut of that. And of course, we got all kinds of merch. So appreciate everyone for taking care of us the way that they do. Since I did hit the housekeeping button to start this program instead of the intro music, Hayes
I just realized that I could see where we are on camera, and I look like a homeless person. So I will slip
When has
on
that
a
ever
jacket,
stopped you before?
which creates at least the appearance of somebody who has dressed for the show. My bad.
All right, so my central question now for the Carolina Hurricanes under Rod Brind'Amour, they've made the playoffs every single year since he's been the coach. Last year, they reached the conference finals for the 3rd time under Brind'Amour. And they've made these moves. Ehlers, the big free agent acquisition, and Keandre Miller, the defenseman from the New York Rangers. Those are 2 pretty big moves for the Canes. They are co-cup favorites with the Edmonton Oilers, the betting favorites.
Which we've seen before.
Which we've seen
at various times, sometimes before the season, sometimes when playoffs have started, they've been the favorite, right?
The Canes have won the Corsi Cup championship many times, but they're trying to win the Stanley Cup championship. So my central question to you guys to start this program today is, are the Carolina Hurricanes, as they are currently constructed, good enough to put their names on the Stanley Cup? I'm going to start with you, Chip Patterson.
No. I think that as they are currently constructed, they are absolutely built to meet the standard, to be able to, not just be in the playoffs, but be there all the way until the end. I think you could argue that they could be a little bit deeper. Like, it's definitely a team where on opening night, things look great. Piotr's our only little nick right now, expecting the group that takes the ice to be one of the most idealized versions of what this team could be. So I think that there are moves that can be made during this season that could either address issues that arise or at least provide a little bit more depth, because the 16 wins that are required to hoist Lord Stanley's Cup, I think that there's just a few spots where they could get a little bit stronger from a depth perspective to be able to say that they are at that point.
Hayes, before I suspect you play Johnny Positive, I would like to point out that today is a Thursday OG Butcher's Market Live.
Okay.
For all of your hot dog needs and pre-prepared meal needs.
And you can't mess up the chicken.
And you can't
You cannot mess up the chicken.
it. You can't undercook it. It's always going to be good. Throw it on the grill. It's good.
Lake Boone or the Millbrook Falls locations are our preferred, but they have locations all across the triangle, including in Cary. Can't thank our friends at the Butcher's Market enough. And of course, even though we're not in the E4 studios, big thanks to our Empire Properties friends. And as always, the OG is brought to you by Copiers Plus. That's copiers-plus.com for all of your print and data management needs. Big shouts to Drew and his crew in Fayetteville. Now, Hayes Permar, I suspect you may have a sunnier or positive answer than Chip Downer, Carolina grad Patterson, who's in his feels over the Tar Heels right now.
No, he's not being any of those things you said. He's just being like a sports writer. He's analyzing the team for what it is.
Okay.
He's breaking down its flaws and its strengths, and he's seeing too many flaws over other teams that have more strengths, right? I have been on team math on this. I'm team Tulski. I'm team 90s Atlanta Braves, right? The name of the game is not like, if you think, like, leave it to sports writers to be like, oh, now you need a big three, or like, you better have the best player in the league. Like, there's
got to get the big hit. The the thing is, you got to get the big hit.
We'll get to the Yankees. Don't worry.
The rules of what it takes to win a championship are written based on the last team that won a championship.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
I am on team math. And I think that's what it's been from the beginning with this regime of, we're never going to claim we're the biggest, baddest, best, fastest, highest scoring, whatever. We are almost, and I hate to bring this up and segue to another thing, like almost a Belichickian level of just, we're going to do every little thing so much better. You're
talking about the Patriots, Belichick.
Yes. I should have clarified that. But just like, the goal is not to be dominant. It's just to be slightly better than everyone you play. And instead of going into games 50-50, we think we're 52-48 every time. And then over time, if we put ourselves every year, they put themselves in the final 8. Do I have that right? Or is there one year where it was a weird first round?
2020 bubble.
A playoff series,
yeah, they've won a series every year.
Now that in every other year but COVID year, that equates to being in the final 8. Mm-hmm. And if you put yourself in the final 8 10 times in a row, the odds are that you will win a championship. And I think that that's what this franchise has always been about. I know that people don't love it. People want to be like, no, I want to win 3 out of 5. I want to do that stuff. But the Atlanta Braves were like, let's just go out there, be good all the time. And when the breaks come in your favor, you win, right? Maybe it is the trade, and that's not discounted. Maybe it is the trade this year that works. Maybe it's the trade last year if the guy freaking sticks around, right? Like, maybe it's you do the thing.
Mikko Rantanen.
Yes.
Okay.
But maybe it is Pyotr
It's Peter. By the way, his name's Peter.
It's just straight up Peter.
I mean, honestly, the fucking Russians called him Peter the Great. Like, am I misremembering something?
Was that spelled the same way?
Yeah, but
I feel like in my textbook it looked
that's
like
Peter,
Lithuanian.
Just making up shit. This is just a Russian parent.
My point is
spelling it a different way. His name's Peter.
We don't know.
I follow Mike and Trip.
Always
Was it called Petersburg or was it called Piotrburg?
That's the way that my pastors interpret the names off the thing.
But put yourself in the final 8. Always be good. You can't plan the breaks. You don't know.
Yeah.
And if the Canes hadn't had to face the Florida Panthers, if somebody else had taken out the Florida Panthers last year, maybe they win it.
A little bracket luck is what you're saying.
Bracket luck to injury to whatever the formula is, to the way the refs are calling the game this year, to like you don't have to face a major market team that gets a totally BS pivotal call. You're just facing some other piddly mid-market team and it works out. Whatever it is, you give yourselves the best chance to be there every year. And when the breaks come in your favor, you win a title. And so, yes, I think they can win it all because once again, they're going to put themselves in the final 8, very probably the final 4. And from there, I like my chances.
Are you ready to make Joe Giglio throw up all over this wonderful on-the-road roadcaster?
Hey, man, set up and start it on time today. I like a little bit of love from my people out there.
Is the Malort here? Is that you bringing that out? I listen to the pod.
it's 2019 Virginia is what you're hoping for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to be a war machine.
Tony Bennett said that.
Yep.
Like talking to Tony Bennett in Charlotte in the 2019 ACC basketball tip-off. And he's like, I just think that if we keep showing up with a team that we think can go on a deep run, because at that point, listen.
I think Will Wade said the same thing to you when he was hired at his introductory press conference.
Well, listen.
Right? You were over at Reynolds.
Yeah, I was there. I was there. I just think that that's the similar mindset is, at some point, all the big dogs are going to get taken out. And guess who you have to play? It's Texas Tech.
Coach K,
right?
Coach K, how many years did he put himself in the Elite Eight and Final Four and just being like, if we're here every year,
because Tony Bennett
winning bunches of these things.
Tony Bennett was in the Sweet 16 almost every season, Sweet 16 or Elite Eight until the 2019.
We've got full ACC basketball on the Canes.
You mentioned Miko Rantanen, the player that they don't have, but the one player they have that they netted from that trade that we have in hand is Logan Stankoven. They're moving him to center this year to be the second line center. And that to me is the biggest question.
Sure.
Can he make an adjustment? Like you try to find a comp to a Munchkin actual center. I'm not talking about Marty St. Louis playing on a wing and winning a cup. I'm talking about an actual 5'7", 5'8" center. I don't love being the exception. I don't love trying to find the outlier, okay? Which is what the Canes are trying to do with this move. I understand why they made it. I don't know what happened in free agency other than the tippy top guys ended up signing elsewhere. Okay. And maybe they weren't all centers, but I also know that I thought they would make a restricted free agent kind of grab at a center, which they didn't do, but maybe you can make a trade with Anaheim as the season goes along. Maybe Mason McTavish ends up on your team. I don't know. But I don't like after last year. There's the thing I don't like, Hayes. I'm with you. Sometimes bracket luck, and you don't have to be a war machine. Not every champion is a war machine, okay? But here's the thing I don't like. Last year, they asked Rod Brindamore twice to remake his roster and make adjustments, and he had to do it, and he did it, and they get to the conference finals. See, I would have preferred you made your moves in the offseason, you settled in, you figured it out, and then maybe at the deadline, what Florida did last year with Marchand, you're going, now, wouldn't that be a nice third or fourth line piece who ends up scoring 10 goals in the playoffs for you, right? So that's the only thing that I kind of look at them and say, I don't like this. I love Ehlers. I think he helps. It improves your top six. Even though Jackson Blake's still technically in the top six for now, I think it takes a little bit of pressure off of him. Okay. Now, I love Miller. Okay. Defensively, they took a step back last year.
Agree.
The defense has been the hallmark of Rod Brandamore's first 6 teams. His 7th team, in my opinion, they were not one of the 10 best defensive groups in the NHL. Certainly by the playoffs, while you're throwing Morrow and Nikishin in there, Nikishin not knowing anything English-wise, right? Scheme-wise, right? I think they were at a real disadvantage not having their fastball on defense. I love the addition of Miller. Now you move Nikishin down to that 3rd spot with the Ghost. You see what he can do, okay? Love Miller and Chatfield. I think that's going to be a little bit of nastiness. We'll see how long they stay together. I would have preferred to see the young fella up, the young Ruski up with Slavin. Mm-hmm. But given Slavin's offseason not being able to practice as much, I could see why Rod, didn't try to just marry them and say, okay, this is what we're doing. I trust Rod. I trust Eric Tulsky. I trust all those things. You mentioned the goalie and Kochetkov, Petey, having an injury. I think the way that they both played, Frederick Anderson and Kochetkov have played in the last 2 years in the playoff, I think they've answered the question sufficiently. Are you good enough to win a Stanley Cup with them? I don't think the losses were because of the goalies the last 2 years. I don't assign the blame for why the Hurricanes are not in the playoffs because of those guys. But I do have questions about how much are we asking Freddie to do? Mm-hmm.
I was. Can I go fan here?
Yeah.
Total fan mode.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure your hardcore Hurricanes OG fans are like, how the hell did we end up with Chip and Hayes on Jaleel on opening day? There'll be plenty of time for great analysis. Mike Maniscalco.
Mike Maniscalco all year long by Brassfield Accounting. Don't you worry.
Yes, there'll be plenty of actual.
No, Tripp's not allowed on our program. He signed a contract with other people. He's not allowed on our program.
Okay, well,
we love Tripp.
Seriously?
Seriously.
I mean, we don't hate on that. Everybody's going to do what's right for them. I would say
I'm disappointed as an OG subscriber.
I was too.
I would say knowing nothing about and looking at stats. I'm always one who's ready to go look at the stats and rush online when people are like Freddie Anderson isn't good enough. It's like, well, look, he's the 2nd best goalie in the playoffs right now. Like when it actually comes down to it. As a fan, I would love to see a year where it transitions to Kochetkov is the number one guy, and you feel like it. There's something about Freddie that sometimes it's injury, sometimes it's random stuff like only losing games 1-0 4 times. You know what I mean? Like
goals at the end of the period.
Like he did his job
into the first period, man. That's
there is something in
the
this
Devils
point,
in the first period today.
There's something in this point where it happens a lot faster on a football team where it's like the quarterback. It's like I get that he's better than the other guy, but at this point, it doesn't feel like it's going to happen with that guy.
Is there a Joe Flacco element?
No, I was going to go almost the Clemson a few years ago where they were like, yes, this is an all ACC quarterback, but this is not going to get it done, and we got to go.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yes, to fans, I do think there's something that feels like, yes, you can tell me all the stats about Freddie Anderson being great, and I like that we have him versus somebody else. But if you ask me, going to Chip's point of like, is this a team that had a goalie that felt like a fresh, all right, this is a guy who is the number one goalie that we haven't seen not do the things in the playoffs that we need to, even when they weren't his fault. Yes, I'd feel better about it if somebody else takes the job this year.
And to fan out a little bit with you, you could lie. You lie to boosters all the time. You lie to fans all the time. It's almost like you could just get a new goal. I mean, how many goalies do you think right now are at like the very tippy top of the NHL?
I mean, the one on the Winnipeg Jets, the one who wins the Vezina every year, he's terrible in the playoffs. He's very vulnerable.
I think you could,
very vulnerable in the playoffs.
You could grab any goalie and probably lie to the fans like, this is it. Let me tell you.
Right. As long as, above average starting quarterback. Yeah, it feels like that team that like, if we just didn't have a bad quarterback,
but that's where the defense comes in, and that's where I thought the issues were last year. You did not have one of the 3 best defenses last year, and that was a conscious decision that they made last year to keep Dmitry Orlov and to pay Brent Burns instead of Brady Shea or Brett Pesce. So I did not like those moves. To this day, I still don't like those moves. I
think last year is going to be one of my favorite teams of this Rod era because of how
expectations.
They had everything.
Or even being told it was rebuilding.
Just like they continued to just like get it reset. And you've got it as a valid criticism. I will say from this perspective, it was like, man, like there really might be something to Carolina culture. Like there really might be something to
the culture. Canes culture. What is on the building. Yes.
Like that, there might be something to, the core group here really is that strong. And that's, as we continue to see, fandom tested from being the cute little story to now being like, no, this is a money-making operation, a big corporation. And, we're doing what we can. Like, I think that to see that there's something that's a little bit vibesy that still exists, a little bit of, how about this? A little bit of a heartbeat as the machine continues to grow is something that's cool from a fan perspective. I will love last year's team because of all that they had to endure and that they finally won a game in the Eastern Conference Finals, snapping that awful drought and statistic.
So it's not just winning the cup, obviously, is not just about your team, but the teams around you. Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup the last 2 years, but they've had some significant issues as they enter this season, starting with Barkov, their captain, injuring his knee before and will not play this year unless there's some medical miracle that allows him to play by June, which I don't quite see happening.
I don't know, man. South Florida. Hey, we got the good stuff.
You got Matthew Tkachuk, who's going to miss at least the first month, if not more, of this season. Then you have their goalie, Bob Bobrovsky, who's 37. Now, the Panthers, yes, they've won it 2 times in a row, but they've been 3 times in a row. Okay, I'm going to give you a stat. The last team, so they've played 68 extra games in the last 3 summers.
Ooh, we got a little LeBron, you catch him on the other side.
And Bob is 37 this year. That's like an extra season. There's some dog years. There's some hard miles there on Bob. Now, I'm going to tell you, the Islanders went 5 years in a row in the 80s. No one has gone 4 years in a row since then. The last team to go 3 in a row was the Tampa Bay Lightning, who also won 2, then lost their 3rd.
Yeah, to the Avs, right?
Do you know what happened in the 4th year for the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Didn't make the playoffs.
They made the playoffs. Okay. They lost in the first round. So while you're not supposed to grade on what somebody else is doing, and Rod and Tulsky and everyone else will tell you it's about us, it's about the process, there is no doubt, even in Vegas's mind, that the Florida Panthers have taken a step back, and that can only be a good thing for the Carolina Hurricanes.
God, but this is going to be so frustrating when everybody magically gets healthy. And
You maybe pull a lightning.
Yeah,
and
this long-term injured reserve math trick. Trade for a superstar, and then all of a sudden everybody's back.
That is going to be the next Tulski piece of the puzzle of how can I plug in an intended injured reserve, slip it under the cat, or even trade for one. That'll be his coup de grace of how to work the salary cap. Can I bring up one thing?
Yes.
We're getting Miller and Chatfield tonight, right?
Yeah, supposed to.
Okay. I'm not trying to go deep here. As somebody who grew up looking up to Michigan Wolverines, Fab Five, and teams like that, I am an extremely white person who grew up in white culture and have always admired black culture and how cool it is. I don't know what the NHL history is of having two starting black dudes on the same line in defense. I truly don't know if it's deep, but I just look at it and I'm like, this is super cool. Not in
North Carolina, no less.
Yes.
Not Vancouver.
I mean, I'm sure it is. It is cool in terms of growing the game, but I don't know the game big enough to be that's cool. But as somebody who's just these dudes move cool. I want to see them be cool, and I hope that line stays and is awesome. So I'm looking forward to the Miller Chatfield line for that reason. I can't imagine there's a long list of it happening in the NHL. I don't know. I'm not a historian, but I'm looking forward to it, and I hope they stay together all season.
Housekeeping. Actual housekeeping. Again, we're here at the local, right across from the Lenovo Center. Come see us. Hayes Permar, Chip Patterson hanging out. We have tickets to give away. All you got to do is put your name in the little ticket. We'll draw it right around 6 o'clock. Those tickets are on in section 303. They are 2 seats right on the aisle, I believe, and they're also Giglio approved. On my notes app, I have all of the sections in the Lenovo Center that have the new seats and not the old puffy ones where there's no leg room for anyone over 160 pounds. So we will be doing that a little bit
later. Should I be yelling that out to the room too?
They probably already have tickets, but you can.
People with their name in the drawing do not want it called.
So Joe Ovis is on the road. He's Joe Ovis' hockey dad this weekend. He's up in Philadelphia. He'll be back on Monday. But we were just in Charlotte. I would highly encourage everyone to go back and listen to our interviews with Hubert Davis, who I had to go back and watch it. I made that guy laugh, out
real
laugh, out loud.
Real laugh.
That was not a fake laugh at all. When I suggested, no one in the history of North Carolina
too big
has ever.
He was very into because some of what he had was in line with what he told everybody else. You know, the positional size is something that clearly he had locked and loaded. But when he said, maybe I'll try that in practice. Newsflash, it worked. Yeah, the it works was definitely a moment of him being super honest. I like that.
So I enjoyed that. And then we did an interview with John Shire. I'll let you people inside a little bit of baseball. And you can probably see my body language at the start of that interview. I wasn't crazy about some of the parameters that were set up or some of the comments that were given to us by Duke before that interview. I didn't love it. I won't tell the whole story. I didn't love it. Okay. But I got myself ready. I got myself going. I was actually mature at 50 years old. And when I asked him about the Houston game, I thought he gave an unbelievable answer about how he has processed that and what he's learned from that. And what do you take from that going forward?
You got to process it. It's something that's got to make us grow as a program.
I forgot you were a Ducator, but it's
not a Ducator. No, I think
it was a good answer. It was a good answer. And I have a lot of respect for John. I said this to him. I say this to him almost every time I interview him. What you're doing is extremely difficult. You're following the guy. Okay. You're the guy after the guy.
Doesn't work out.
And he has made no effort whatsoever to be Mike, which is amazing if you think about it, because the only solid example of that we have in the Triangle history of a coach following a guy eventually is Roy Williams, who was a facsimile of Dean Smith, right down to the thought of the day, right down to the same systems, all this other stuff. So it was amazing to me and continues to be amazing to me that John Shire is his own guy. So again, I would appreciate you guys going back and checking out.
And obviously,
those interviews.
this, Roy followed him with a buffer of
Buffers.
two coaches, and not even one in between two coaches.
There's a couple buffers in there.
That's why those things can work, right? Like you get a little bit of distance, and people are like, maybe we do want more of the same instead of something new. I wanted to add to the Hubert thing. I also liked the question, and you guys both sort of thinking about if they had laid out his record.
Oh yeah,
like
that's a good question.
Like and even if you put like if I was thinking as I listened to it, the order of things happening, could have mattered.
Hey, first year you miss,
if you,
right?
If you take he's got 4 seasons, right?
Yep.
If you take those 4 seasons and like put them in a different order, things look different. If you add up the same wins and losses and put it as a round of 32 loss every year,
that was his point. He was like, if the
16,
record,
Sweet 16.
It's like,
but I like your way better. What if he misses his first year?
Yeah,
loses in the first round his second year. Sweet 16 is
with
third
ACC
year
championship,
with an ACC championship,
and then Final Four.
Especially
if Final Four includes beating Duke the way they did. It's like,
man,
that's an extension, right?
I've been told I don't understand the standard, but I just wanted his take on it.
It also spoke to. There's an ongoing debate on this pod of I think. Consistency versus championships, and I forget exactly where it stands, but there is some.
Ovius is the consistency one. I am the give me the UConn blueprint every single time.
I hate this, but you know this debate, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like, would you rather be the Braves or UConn?
The Marlins.
Yeah,
when they get in, they win.
That's perfect. That's it. Braves versus Marlins. Which would you rather be? If your team mostly sucks, but you have 2 championships in 20 years. No, the Marlins have now gotten a little bit further from it.
It was 2 in 6 years.
There was a time it was like your team is terrible, or they win it and win it all, or you're always good, and it's frustrating that you don't have more championships, but you're always good.
Yeah, I'm a Carolina Hurricanes fan. The answer is the latter. Like I would rather be,
and that's always the retort.
The ride is 100% worth it. You'd rather be able to count on having that, and like even if you know your heart's going to be broken, it's better than just being dead inside in the off years. And I think that for North Carolina, the reason why I brought that up is the Dean Smith Sweet 16 run is when North Carolina's like national identity was established.
Will never be duplicated.
Even when there weren't a lot of titles to show for it, but it was just the consistent greatness.
Yeah, will never be duplicated. I hope you guys want to save money. My man Matt Davis, InsureGarner.com has that covered for you. Auto insurance, home insurance, pet insurance. Hayes, how are the dogs doing?
Good Lord.
This is your chance.
You know what?
Regale us, Hayes. Regale us.
Who's doing pet insurance?
My God, Matt Davis.
If I were starting right now, and I had all the puppy expenses too, because that's when a lot of it is out the gate with the puppy, I would talk to somebody about pet insurance.
Well,
I would tell me the full, now that I know what it's like.
Yep.
Like usually I'm team skeptical of insurance because it's when you're buying something and somebody's trying to add on $10 to it, right?
Sure.
But I would absolutely, I'm not being funny.
Watch my money now.
I would, no, I'm saying I'm not being funny. If you laid it out for me now that I know what the costs are, having done 6 years of one and two dog ownership, I would listen to pet insurance 100%.
Give Matt Davis a call, 919-779-8277. Maybe you're in the market for a new home. Maybe you want to be closer to Hayes Permer at the Rialto. Well, my friends at Hometown Reality can take care of you. myhtr.com. It's that simple. Buy and sell with confidence. myhtr.com. Well, you have a house. That means you need to close. You need some legal help. Our good friend, Whitaker and Hamer. Hayes, if they're smart enough, as a guy who has one of the greatest and simplest URLs that a business owner can have, therialto.com.
Therialto.com.
You got to respect Whitaker and Hamer for wh.lawyer, right?
Yes.
I mean, fantastic. If they're smart enough to do that, they're smart enough to help you with all of your legal needs. I'm stalling for our guy, Gordon Miller, to join us. He's allegedly in a pool right now, so we will wait for Gordon.
Was that him calling? Your phone was blowing up.
I know.
Not to go full meeting on the podcast.
And we're having a meeting. I don't know the button.
I wanted to make sure he wasn't calling you to tell you he wasn't.
Oh, yeah, I'll check. So instead,
no, it was different. I was pointing to. I was pointing to who was texting.
Okay.
I did.
Do you have a sound for who's texting Jillian's phone right now?
Email washed up. Yep. Okay. So while we wait for Gordon, I will just pimp the Roback.
You don't know me like that.
It's 10 a.m. Let's go.
Use our promo code OG20. Save 20% on your first order. They have the best golf shirts in the business, the best hoodies, the best Q-zips. They got all kinds of new sweatshirts too for this college football season. They're a little bit heavier than their normal hoodies. The golf hoodies are a little bit lighter. Either way, check them out. Rhoback, RHOback.com.
If we're killing time for Gordon, can I offer an apology?
Sure.
We were planning the show. Gilio had tweeted out a bunch of things to talk about, including the Canes, including I can't remember things happening in triangle football. I can't remember what those topics were, but other things. And I was like, man, no WNBA mention. They're in their finals.
Oh, go ahead. And then take your moment here. This is like
I'm apologizing
when I get to talk about the NBA or baseball.
And then
so
I hadn't caught up on the pod. Like I literally listened to like half of that podcast. Then when I listened to the rest, you had a full discussion about the whole thing with Mitch. So,
it's fair. We try to hit all the things that people. We also try to be authentic with the topics that we know.
100%, and I think that's the way to go.
We bring Mitch on because he knows what he's talking about.
You don't pretend to talk WNBA.
Yeah,
but I did think it was actually becoming kind of a story. They're in their finals, and there's a lot going on. But if folks wanted to hear it, it was discussed very well and very accurately. And I was clowning you because I hadn't listened to that episode yet that you hadn't even brought it up.
That feels like a correction and a clarification. I can't find that sound. It's fun.
You get to clarify a current topic or two because you know it, Joe. It's not the first or the last.
How do we know that? Oh, it's in a different. Oh, here we go.
All mixed up, you don't know what to do. I guess we'll clarify and correct something or two. Because you know what, Joe is not the first or the last. Think they've gone wrong in the past.
I just had to do that for you guys.
It was better when we sang it.
It was actually better. So instead of
harmonize,
whenever Gordon pops in there, we'll get in there. We'll talk a little bit of baseball with Gordon. But now let's talk about Bill Belichick. Let's talk about the Tar Heels. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. By the time, 7, 8 o'clock last night, we finally get a statement from both UNC and Bill Belichick that essentially says, hey, we're not firing him.
All cool.
Hey, I'm not seeking a buyout. Hey, I'm coaching the team, ... for now.
Normal stuff. I mean, just totally normal stuff. On a Wednesday night of your off week to have, I mean, could you imagine if you weren't on the message boards and if you weren't in the text chains and if you weren't like picking up the phone and just the only thing you saw was from @GoHeels at like 8:30 p.m. Wednesday? It's like, well, why is Bubba Cunningham saying Bill Belichick has the support of the athletic department and university? I mean, he's the football coach, right?
And you're talking about what happened yesterday. I'm like, let's get to what happened today because we are in like sharks circling the waters mode of like national reporters are being told to pay attention to this and being time spent on it, which means they're just going to keep finding more stories, right? And then locally, I'd actually like your opinion on this, okay? Because I have a theory. At any time, any local reporter covering a beat, basketball, football, major here in the Triangle, could probably find a disgruntled parent, right?
Yes.
I would imagine there's a symbiotic relationship between reporter and school of like, I'm not going to go just talk to the mad parent because there's always one, unless there's reason to, because once you cross that bridge, it's like you've kind of told the coach, we're not just digging up dirt on we're digging up dirt on you, right? So I'm not knocking WRAL and Pat Welter. Oh, sorry, can we name them here?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just heard, I didn't even know of his report until I heard it mentioned in other national podcasts that I listened to.
It's been picked up all over the place. And there's a lot of disgruntled parents. There's a lot of, obviously, some players, too, who are like, and even coaches, like you've seen some assistant coaches on that Ollie Connolly thing. Like,
but
I'm going to guess that's not a Lombardi or his kids. So.
Yeah. Or it's no Belichick's or Lombardi's. Right. It's the staff.
But when you're a local person, you know you're not going to have to either both cover this coach more, but this program more. And now you've gone and been like, I'm talking to whoever's mad about you. And I feel like that's almost a tipping point where people are shorting your stock. People are now betting what's better for their career is to talk about how it's going down than to try and maintain a relationship with you. And
Andrew Jones, who's done a great job for 247 Sports, has made that choice. He knows I'm better off helping my sources on this than I am making myself try to be appealing to Bill Belichick and the staff because one of the mistakes that they've made from the beginning is they don't understand that those fan sites, 247 Sports, On3, whatever they are now, they're part of your recruiting. They are. And there's a relationship there. As Steve Forbes so famously spelled out to us, hey, man, I help you. You help me. I'll take some shit from you, Giglio, but I ain't taking it from my On3 guy. I ain't taking it from my Rivals guy. I ain't taking it from my 247 guy. He can pound salt. Okay? That ain't how this works.
Yeah.
So, but it works the other way too. I help you. You help me. That's part of the dynamic. And Andrew has made that choice now. As a guy who has a journalistic background, so did Greg Barnes for all those years at Inside Carolina. He did an unbelievable job towing that line, but he knew when it was time to go after and when at time it wasn't. To your point, this whole thing has gone plaid.
So yes,
okay.
So that's the local angle. Then, and Chip, you can probably speak to this. The national angle is you see did I see Bruce Feldman reporting on it?
Well, so Bruce got the story about the quarterback's coach being suspended.
Okay.
Yes,
And
broke the story.
So
yeah.
again, I mean, some of these people are always talking to everyone, but I know that because I follow them, these national reporters spend more time talking to people at Alabama and other places, and now they're spending their time, which means hours of their heavy salary, talking about North Carolina football, and their boss is going to be like, that's cool, but you better give us some stories about North Carolina football. And so I think if you went into any college football program and fine-tooth combed it, you'd find this, a little thing here and there, but now everything is going to start to be reported to this isn't being done right. This is mad. This is mad. This is mad. Because if we're going to spend the time looking at North Carolina, we're going to produce articles that say what's going on there, and it's never going to be good right now.
And let me explain something to you about this dynamic now. Okay.
This is me talking. This is the sports reporter. It's me moderating because I'm not one, but I have two here.
Let me explain something to you now too. The people who are feeding this information, the sources, those are university sources. Those are athletic department sources. They're setting the table.
I was going to say, this is
okay.
The crumbs are being dropped intentionally by people who want to whip everyone into a frenzy, and they want to paint a picture. They want to paint a picture that there is that nothing is being organized well, and the leadership is terrible. And
it's now sounding worse than it might even
be. Yeah.
But once that happens,
broke NCAA rules in 2025. Gio Lopez is probably making $3 million this year to play quarterback or not play quarterback.
Break them at this point?
And to suspend that assistant coach, that is setting the table because in Belichick's contract it says you are responsible for following all NCAA rules. Okay, and now it becomes, hey Bill, I know you think we owe you $20 million, but you know what we have here at the University of North Carolina? We have a fine law school. And as I predicted even last week, that fine law school, those wheels were turning even before to try to get out of this thing, but trying to minimize the damage because it's a full-on disaster. There's not a single salvageable thing that has happened this year for North Carolina. They have not even played their second ACC game yet.
Held off Charlotte. It was a rowdy Charlotte crowd. Have you seen a Charlotte football crowd like that?
Have you seen
a Charlotte football crowd?
Okay, we're gonna. I have some. You want to hit something real quick, and then we'll get Gordon.
Yeah, it's just the playbook has been there. Tennessee with Jeremy Pruitt, the insiders and power brokers said we don't think he's cut out for it. Let's take a fine tooth comb and let's go find some violations. Kevin Ollie at UConn, they didn't think he was cut out for it.
Won a national championship.
But they were like,
if they want you out,
they want you out.
Look at everything.
And then the less publicized David Beatty at Kansas is another one where they just thought he couldn't cut it, and so they looked really, really hard, and they got him out the paint with some NCAA violations. Now, here's what I feel very confident in: they will not do what Northwestern did. Northwestern tried to fire Pat Fitzgerald without going through the process to score political points of like, this guy's hazing, let's get him out. And he took their ass to court and got every cent of his buyout.
So that's because Northwestern, I'm sure they have a law school, but it ain't Carolina.
But so I think
they didn't come up with, other students get it too. So
I think North Carolina,
brilliant.
I think North Carolina will be very careful and intentional about the process. So if you think this is going to happen, like, hey, Chip, is it going to pop like tomorrow? Like, I don't think so.
If they had somebody more equipped to handle the rest of the season, I think they probably could have done something yesterday. I do.
That's a good point.
But they don't. They don't even
except
have
for somebody's son or
right,
somebody's
and they don't even
cousin.
have a Jeff Saturday. Like you'd literally have to hire Jeff Saturday at this point. I'm serious. Like I mean, it's just preposterous what you try to do to finish the season because they're so inept with their coaching staff. Now, I have some great advice for Bill Belichick that we're going to get to after we talk to two of our corporate champions. I took care of you to look at right here. I'm going to let you eat and try your.
We'll get our own.
These are your
Sunday?
pucks. No,
Oh.
these are the new.
Oh.
From Two Roosters as the new ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah,
These are available at the arena.
Look at
Jared,
this.
lean down into his microphone and describe what we just got here.
Good to see you. Yeah, so we got 2 chocolate chip cookies, chocolate ice cream, and rolled in chocolate sprinkles. So
Oh,
that
a
was full-filled.
Jimmy.
The puck, it's full
Yes.
chocolate.
And look at your branding, always on point with your branding.
It's like the sidekick to the Slavin Sunday.
Okay. Camera right there. I mean, it looks unbelievable. Now, I'm going to let you two try your sandwiches. I'm going to bring
Straight
Gordon
from the
on
freezer.
real quick. Bring Gordon on real quick to talk to our guy. See, here we go. Gordon, unfortunately, I do not have ice cream sandwiches for you. How are you, sir?
I just needed to know if they had a diabetic version because I'm looking at a lot
diabetic
of sugar
version?
right now.
I don't think Jared's got. He has a dairy-free ice cream a flavor
Dairy-free?
every month, but yeah, no on the diabetic front.
All right, then Hayes can have mine.
Hayes can have yours. Very nice
Yeah,
of you.
Hayes-
Big thanks to Jared. Two Roosters.
Thanks, Jared.
Lake Boone, also the home base of One Hayes Permar on Person Street. Now, I'm actually going to take you two knuckleheads out for a second so that we can see Gordon's information. It also helps me know the information.
Yeah.
MillerLending.com. Give them a call, 919-447-3377. 919-447-3377. Because, Gordon, at the rate I'm losing money on these baseball playoffs, I'm going to probably need like a refi or a HELOC or something coming down the pike here. How does that sound?
Well, that's something that's kind of old news now, Joe, because when the Eagles got to the Super Bowl, it was all HELOCs.
Okay.
So those can be done in as little as 7 days, just in case your team suddenly, appears in a Super Bowl, let's say, but not that I'm expecting anything
Not that
tomorrow
the
night in
Lions
Seattle.
did or did not show up last year in the Super Bowl. I hear you.
Well, and then there's tomorrow night too. Yeah, tomorrow night's
I
the
know.
other thing. So tickets are now very expensive for the ALCS. If you were to get a Detroit-Toronto matchup, an original 6 in a baseball matchup would be insane, just because they're so close to each other.
Yeah, that would be
So-
pretty cool.
So we'll kind of root for that. But
No, we're rooting for
Yeah,
the Dodgers to beat the Blue Jays. I'm sorry. That's the only good live ticket I have right now.
all right. Well, I'll start with tomorrow night and I'll go slow from there. That's all.
Okay, that's fine.
and
Once your
by-
team's
and-
eliminated, then you could start rooting for my tickets. That feels fair.
And by the way, even though I'm all the way up in Traverse City right now, Belichick's a story here as well. So it's good. We are up here. The opinion of the Traverse City local sports people is that he will not coach another game, but we're like 1,000 miles away, so we don't really know.
Yeah, it feels like we're going to try to make this thing work for one full season and then find their separate ways, journey wise. Steve Perry doing the vocals. I hope he used the no-cost closing loan when he moved into the Governor's Club or wherever he is over in Chapel Hill, because that way, when he goes back to Martha's Vineyard or the Nantucket or wherever he is, or down in Florida, Key Biscayne, whatever nonsense, no tax, state income tax place he's sheltering.
I think that we know.
Save money.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that we know isn't going to happen is he's not going to be bought out at no cost.
That's right. But you can close at no cost.
But you can close at no cost. So, what we've seen is there has actually been a pickup in activity lately. The message I've been trying to get out there is that there's a big emphasis on steering, and it's not for the financial benefit of the consumer. So I did a national article about a week and a half ago on that, and then now we've got Mortgage Match Arena for the Phoenix Suns, which is a lead generation site for internal brokers steering things. But it's a very interesting environment. The nutshell of it is that closing costs have gone up. So,
Okay.
when you get to this point with rates up and down and rates all over the map. And then you see rates that are advertised that'll say, 5.5 or 5.25 or APR in the 4s. There's going to be either a lot of closing costs to that, or it's going to be a temporary buy down or adjustable product. The one thing I want your audience to understand is that there isn't some sale on money where we've got multiple sources. With Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, FHA and VA, the rates are kind of the rates. And then it's sort of, what margins does everybody want to make, and who's trying to buy basketball teams and who's just happy to go to a Canes opening game. So, it does pay to shop around. And the thing we did a long time ago was just, we eliminated timing. And the worst thing right now for those guys is to go out and, do you pay 15 grand to get 6.25? No, I mean, you're not going to want to say that at a party in a couple of years that, hey, I've got a great rate. I'm at 6.25. It would not make sense with the last 40 years that I've been in the industry. So it's going to be interesting.
Sorry, our helper Madison was asking me if I needed a beverage. I'm not ready for a beverage yet because I'm in charge today. You know what happens when I'm in charge.
I've got my A&W root beer in the car, but that's about it.
I know. All right. Well, I'm going to root for the Tigers for you in Game 5. I won't bet on them. I won't bet on the Mariners either.
I already bet on the Mariners.
Yeah,
but
I know you did. I bet on the
Yeah,
Mariners.
I did.
It up for you.
Right.
So we're licking our wounds on that one, but get yourself, if you honestly have a conversation, Austin Herbert at the carry office really will take care of you. 919-447-3377. Gordon, best of luck.
And not to mention the OG gift. So the thing we also want everybody to understand is that we do know costs. So it's not like we could say we could waive the closing cost if you're referred by the OG. But we did do an arrangement with the Raleigh Wine and Gift Shop. We aren't allowed to go below zero with Klaus, so that was prohibited by the federal government. But real nice gift basket that you're going to get. These things are actually over $250 each. So when you do go to our website, and if you do look for a rate request in the drop down, you'll see the OG, and that will get you the next gift basket from the Raleigh Wine Shop. So we do enjoy the OG podcast. Obviously, the other Joe was my original co-host way back when.
Long time.
We've both aged a lot, and here we are. So I'm the ARP member of this team now. So when you guys need a senior moment, call me.
Perfect. Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, MillerLending.com. Gordon, best of luck to the Tigers, man. Appreciate you as always.
You got it. Thanks, Joe.
All right, we're back here at the local. Chip Patterson joining me with Hayes Permar. It's a Broughton reunion. Canes open tonight, 7:30 over at Lenovo Center. If you'd like to come over here and win tickets, we don't have a lot of entries right now.
I mean, you've got really good odds.
Great. Better than anything Jimmy
Maybe I
has ever
shouldn't say the
put money
section.
on.
Maybe this hard sell of the section is keeping people away, but you can win tickets. 2 tickets to tonight's game, the opener. It's the Devils at the Canes. Starts at 7:30, so come see us at the local. Before we get back to Belichick, I know he would like to get rid of the bugs that are crawling around the Keenan Center.
The Jack Nicholson rat speech to Leo. Yeah, that's what I'm imagining.
You can get rid of them too. Mosquito Authority, Pest Authority, bugsbite.com. I mentioned before that all year long we will have Mike Maniscalco on this program. A little bit of an unusual week with us being in Charlotte, but Mike will be joining us next week. Thanks to our friends at Brassfield Accounting, brassfieldaccounting.com. They're in Homer, Alaska. Okay. If you need a fractional CFO, if you need help with a government grant or for your small business, Chris is the guy to check in with. Brassfield, BRAS Accounting, brassfieldaccounting.com.
I do have to respect. Are you 27608?
Oh yeah.
All right, we got to check Maniscalco. Maniscalco has recently moved. Like he's in the Power neighborhood now. Like you Garner, North Raleigh boys.
Yeah.
As much as you had, Maniscalco is now one of us.
Yeah.
He's in the house. He might go to Broughton. like next year. I don't like he's in the district. So
Yeah.
Wow. So he's close.
Menascalco's in our hood now.
He's close enough to get to the Rialto and get an OG light at the Rialto.
Oh yeah, or he could go to the Franklin Street, which you refer to as the Person Street, Two Roosters.
Oh
and,
Lord,
and,
it's still
and
not
he,
the right address.
unlike you or Joe Ovius, could claim it as his home one. Yes.
Okay. You know who needs a grill rescue? Speaking of rescues, man, Bill Belichick needs all kinds of things. He would really benefit if he watched this program. ncgrillrescue.com. Here's the deal. You've invested in your outdoor kitchen, your outdoor, or maybe it's just a Weber grill that you're attached to, and you don't want to go buy a new one this year. Well, give our guy Eric a shout at ncgrillrescue.com, and he'll be able to take care of you.
No need to bury your barbecue. Call NC Grill Rescue. And now it's time for your NC Grill Rescue of the week.
Yeah, clearly North Carolina is going to need those lawyers to take care of Bill Belichick's contract, so they get the prize here. We will not have an after dark tonight, nor will we have one for NC State Notre Dame. Even if NC State pulls off a miracle, if they pull off a miracle, I'll do an after dark. How about that? Always brought to you by our friends at Bloomin' Blinds. Bloomin' Blinds, leave off the G. Bloomin' Blinds. It's 919-980-9815. Here's the thing about Bloomin' Blinds. I'm a terrible sleeper. These guys can do the room darkening shades, and I don't really like to sleep in my bed. I love on a couch, like a nap. You just got darken that whole living area. Oh man, I mean, you know me. I need a nap at 2 o'clock every day. So our friends at Bloomin' Blinds always taking care of us for all of our after darks and all of our ACC coverage this season. All right, let's get back to our guy, Bill Belichick, and what's going on at North Carolina, because I have some advice for them. If Bill Belichick would like to call the sports phone or join us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, he's welcome to.
444-2211, I believe.
It is 444-2211. I'm going to give Bill Belichick some advice for the final 7 games of this season, assuming that he's going to coach the final 7 games of this football season, because there will be no bowl game. However, I have some scarring here, because much like I think Chip Patterson and most normal people, I thought arguably the greatest NFL coach of all time would be able to come, coach a college team, have a functional defense, don't beat themselves, and win the games they were supposed to, and not lose the games. Not lose games you were supposed to.
Like I don't want to like go back. Caleb Hood, Davion Goss, like you were looking in that backfield and you're like, okay,
yeah,
they'll be able to run the football.
And hey, maybe we only watched the App State game, but Gio Lopez looked pretty good. All these things, fine. We didn't know enough about the roster.
Him and Fluff Bothwell were quite a tag team. Fluff is getting it done for
I'm not going there.
Fluff Bothwell is getting it done for Mississippi State right now.
Now, I will say, I was like most normal people. I thought they would win 6-7, maybe even 8-6-7,
6-7.
maybe even 8 games.
I'm there.
Okay,
I'm hip.
I know
cool.
you are.
I'm
You're totally the youth. I thought they would have a normal season. I did not expect this dumpster fire. Joe Ovius, however, called this from the jump. So, in order to save my face with Joe Ovius, here is my advice to you, Bill Belichick. And I said this during the summer multiple times, and you boys can take a little bit of a rest here. And I'm going to try not to swear during this, as this room has filled up here at the local. But Bill Belichick, I need you to do your job. Okay? This is what I need. I need you to play a quarterback in the slot. I need you to play a receiver at cornerback.
Whoa.
I need you to put a lacrosse guy at receiver.
Got one of those.
Drop kick.
I need you to put a wrestler on the offensive line.
Okay.
I need you to play a linebacker at tight end. I need you to find a running back to catch 50 passes. I need you to find a tight end. I need you to run the hurry up quarterback sneak in short yardage situations. I need you to run a direct snap to the same running back who would have 50 catches at the goal line.
That's it. That's the one.
I need you to run the tight end leak to that linebacker in the end zone. I need you to bend the rules right up to breaking them. I need you to tape a walkthrough. I need you to deflate a ball. I need you to discover some obscure goal line formation to win a game because of that needle in a haystack scouting find. I need you to ... try. Okay? Here's an idea. Talk to one of your players. Here's an idea. Put a UNC shirt on. Here's an idea. Coach up your team. Do your fucking job. Because you know how many times you've said that in the NFL? I can call while all these people want to call the parents, I'll call every single former Patriot. I'll call every single former Brown. I'll call every single former Alabama Crimson Tide player, every single former Michigan State player, because you and Nick Saban share a brain. You share a motto. Do your job. You haven't done anything, not one thing. All of those things I mentioned made you special in the NFL, made you think outside the box. Yes, you won with Tom Brady. Yes, I give you a hard time because you had Lawrence Taylor, the greatest defender of all time. Tom Brady, the best quarterback of all time. Adam Vinatieri, the greatest clutch kicker of all time. I get it, man. I get it. But you still had to coach him up. You still did all of those other things. You still worked the corners. You still bent the rules. You still had some old insane guy go scout walkthroughs and tape walkthroughs. Okay? You still looked up gas laws to figure out why the ball wasn't deflated. You still did all of these things to put Tom Brady in a position to be the most successful quarterback of all time. Okay? The fact that you can't recruit a tight end is flat out embarrassing. I get it. One of them was a serial killer, but the other one was a Hall of Famer and the greatest tight end in the history of the game. You should be able to call somebody up and get a tight end. Okay? Now, you've ruined and scarred Hayes Permar's mid-adulthood by the Super Bowl by beating the Panthers with that leak to the tight end, with that 2-point play to Kevin Falk. Troy Brown playing in the slot. Troy Brown being your slot receiver, playing cornerback. Julian Edelman still exists to this day. A college quarterback still exists to this day because you played him at receiver. You played him as a punt returner. Shit, man. The Clemson trick play was your trick play. How many times did you run the double pass with Edelman? I'm begging you, man. Put Lopez at the slot. Play Max Johnson. Play another one. Put a linebacker in there. These are all things you've already done. Okay? I thought you were going to do all of these things because you know why? The great thing about not being in the NFL is nobody knows any of your shit anymore. But that should have been your attitude coming to college. That's what it should have been. So, Bill, I'm begging you, do your job. Now, will they do any of these things?
No.
Okay.
Because why wouldn't you have already done them?
Yes. And nobody has the answer to why he's not doing them. Is it he doesn't care? He's not working? He doesn't have the ability to? He's not as sharp as he once was? I think it's a fair question. But I think a lot of the things that you describe are, I alluded to this earlier. Belichick, when people say genius or greatest coach of all time, I think sometimes we mistake it with there are the Sean McVays, like the schemers now. Where I do
Sean
think
McVay, who he outsmarted in the Super Bowl with Jared Goff in the headset because he knew McVay was talking to him but couldn't talk to him in the last 10 seconds of play clock.
I do think there's something to almost with how thorough your description of him was. Belichick's superpower was preparing that much more than you, right?
Yes.
Whether it was, man, I don't know if I'll ever have two defensive backs hurt.
We're at ACC tip-off.
Hold on.
The
All good. I'm ready for him.
No, we're not. Go back. Superpower. Go ahead.
I do think his superpower is the over-preparing, I know every rule more than the other guy does. I know in this situation, I can actually, cheap hit, or a guy can't hit me because it'll take a penalty, or
can't take two penalties in a row.
I can put my guys in a formation that's normally illegal, but because of some random
no one's looked it up yet.
Time, I can put a guy there, and that is him to a T. So even if he, I mean, I don't think anybody sees him doing close to what you're asking of. You're asking for any of those, but
play the hits, man.
But
Just
I do
play
wonder
the
if,
hits.
especially as we look back to his final years in the NFL, that now continued is. If your ability was to prepare that much more than all these coaches who claim that's all I do is I don't sleep and I prepare, but it's like he truly was the guy that no, I actually read the rule and knew the difference between 1A and whatever. Or I was the guy who said, you know what, it's worth taking the time in 4 practices a year to put my wide receivers at DB in case I get 3 DBs hurt in a game. And the coach that has an unbelievable team but catches 2 bad injuries in the playoff now it's screwed because he has no wide receiver who knows what it's like. Like, yes, I think that was him. So, to my point, even just a slight drop off on that was going to bring him way back down to the average. But to your point, we haven't seen a lick of it. We haven't seen any of that would make you roll out of bed and be half Bill Belichick, and you're going to a bowl game.
Right.
You're going
against that schedule.
You can get 7 wins, and now it doesn't look like you're interested in getting any advantage on anything over anyone. It just looks like you're just there showing up and saying, "I'm Bill Belichick,"
and you're not.
Yeah.
Do you
pay me my money.
Do you know what Bill Belichick doesn't understand? That most of this roster is not going to be playing football to feed their families.
Yeah.
And that they are not,
other than what they're paying them right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, just like I'm talking the motivation, the internal motivations of a professional football player versus this, because bad Carolina football teams have players who prefer road games to home games, because there is nothing that sucks more than when your coach calls a timeout.
Oh, with 1 second left?
With 1 second left to say, no, you're going to run another snap. I mean, these guys, I know that everyone jokes about Carolina and fake classes, but like they're in an English 120 class in a small group where there's a girl in their small group who they saw walk out, when they're out there during warmups and they're pointing people out and they're saying hi. Like that is what it is. It is a feeling. I was, Richard Johnson for CBS Sports does a very good job. He and I were talking on the phone, and to your point about national reporters, I mean, like I don't
lean towards him, by the way.
To your point about national reporters, I don't think it's crazy for me to say that, but there is a lot of like Belichick stuff's hitting. What do you got?
Yeah.
Like poke. Give me something.
You better find something that the other guy doesn't have.
And they underestimated that.
Yeah.
The whole time. The number of people, because I always say, I said this on the podcast yesterday, not even a State fan could come up with their wildest fever dream of how you couldn't script this the way that it's gone. But when it comes to Belichick, it's not State. It's not Duke. It's the Steelers. It's the Jets. It's the Bills. It's everybody.
And you were right. You were going to get the attention. What you didn't consider is if it goes bad, you're still going to get more attention than you should.
So that was what that's what I saw basically when I was talking to Richard. I said the issue is it looks horrendous. You are on these you're getting everybody watching, and it just looks bad, and it is depressing, and the human connection is gone.
We lost your camera somehow, but that's okay. I'm going to play a quick clip because everyone is dunking on Bill Belichick right now, and I mean everyone. This is Rick Neuheisel from CBS. Rick Neuheisel, nice guy, great personality, great hair, old USFL quarterback.
Kid is crushing it.
Yeah, his son doing well. But Rick Neuheisel never won anything in his life. But I everything he says here about Belichick, I agree with.
To watch the entirety of his tenure there in Chapel Hill because it came with such fanfare.
I don't know if it's playing, but
he actually said he was going to build.
He just said all the things I just said because I don't know why that doesn't work, but that's fine. That's fine. We made it this far without our technical difficulties, but your blight's still blinking, so you should be getting close to. How about this?
I mean, it's blue here.
I got you. I got an interview.
Worst case scenario. Let's go to.
Yeah, there's one coach. There's one coach that I talked to who does not need any of my advice. Kyle Smith, who in 2016 won me a bunch of money as the coach of the Columbia Lions. This is a man.
Automotive Group microphone is Kyle Smith. He is the head coach of Stanford. When did you get in, by the way?
Last night.
Well,
about 9:30.
That's a hell of a trip, right? You used to it now?
Straight shot. Hey, I coach at Washington State. Travel's easy. Anything's easy. Trust me. I really mean that. Everyone's like, are you really that trouble? I'm like, let me tell you, try to get from Pullman to Tucson. Hey, good luck.
Yeah, that's brutal. So technically, I'm not here today.
That's right.
Yeah, because when we're running this interview, we're running this interview on a Thursday, and I'm going up to Philly for a youth hockey tournament with my son. So Joe's just kind of taking it. I just wanted to let people know I'm not technically here for this.
Perfect.
And Joe's been very hyped to talk to you since last year.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Coach, I had to find a little bit. You want your Stanford questions first?
You go whatever you want. You got 8 to 10 minutes. Zach's getting nervous.
Okay, yeah, Zach's on it.
So let's start with your first year at Stanford last year.
Sure.
You did something that a lot of coaches at Clemson, Virginia, NC State, even Duke, Maryland couldn't do for a long time. You won on your first trip to the Smith Center.
No. That was a heck of a moment for everybody.
Okay.
To say the least.
I know you outperformed expectations last year. You get your team to the NIT, you win 21 games. But I got a feeling that game, as someone who knows a little bit about college basketball, going there and winning there, that had to be a highlight for you from last year.
Absolutely. It was right there when Columbia beat Villanova my second or third year. That was a little more dramatic. Maybe.
Right.
But, no, it was awesome. That atmosphere is incredible. Our guys played really well, and Jalen Blakes really stepped up and made a big-time shot. It was awesome.
You had two really good players in Blakes and Maxime Reynaud. They're both gone, though.
Yeah.
That's how the world works.
Yes.
You have a super interesting philosophy that you're trying this year.
Yes.
That if you weren't as smart as you were, I would seriously question. Now, I want to point this out, though.
Yeah.
You have I know you've been a head coach for 15 years, but we have Ken Palm data for 14 of them in terms of preseason ranking and final ranking.
Yeah.
So you've outperformed Ken Palm 12 times in 14 years.
I know.
That's
disappointing. I should say I kind of know.
You do.
I think we might have underperformed last year.
No, not last year.
Okay, good. Thank God.
It's pretty fucking impressive, Coach. 12 out of 14 at, no offense here now, Columbia, San Fran,
but don't you
and
think,
the Palouse. You're doing some work.
Don't you think I should be baked into the algorithm now?
I think that's the other school across the bay. They have a Calgorithm. So I don't know.
But I mean, it should be like, well, that guy's coaching the team. It gets harder to outperform. That's what I'm saying.
You get a 10-point Ken Palm bump.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I would think
there should be a Kyle Smith factor.
Anyway, I appreciate it.
But so here's the part where I question your sanity. If I have this right, you're going to rely on a D2 transfer and Jeremy Dent Smith from Cal State Dominguez.
Yes.
Okay. And the other guy I think who's going to play a bunch for you is a D3 transfer from something called Claremont Mud Scripts.
That's not real.
It's real, brother.
How do you find that?
AJ played for him at Washington State.
But still, we don't understand how crazy this story is.
Claremont Mud Scripts.
I got an email when I was at Washington State from one of my buddies who lives in Marin County. Said, hey, this kid's going up to Washington State. I think he's good, and he wants to walk on. I said, whatever, sure, come on by. Never see him for a year. Comes in the second year. I go, where were you? He said, well, I pledged a frat last year. I'm the third generation to go to Washington State, and he comes out, and he's good. He's good, but it's like, walk on, come on, let's go. And then he was behind some really good players with some really good teams. And I tried to, and he's a plus athlete in our practice. I said, I'm telling other Division I coaches, like, hey, man, this guy's a plus athlete in our practice. We're 22nd ranked team in the country. I'm telling you he's good. And no one would take him. Then he finally said, Coach, don't worry about it. I'm going to get a finance degree at Claremont McKenna. And I said, okay. I said, but I played Division III, and there was nothing like you in Division III, so I'm expecting you to be an All-American. Sure enough, he was. Helped him tremendously. He's really confident, and he just plays so hard, and I don't want to put too much heat on him, but I interviewed.
He can help you.
Beyond.
Okay.
He's a little more.
That's what I thought.
No, it's a little beyond. No, it's thus far it's been that. He's so athletic. I can't tell you how athletic he is, but he has the same motor that similar. It's not. I'm not like Hansbrough.
Okay.
He's just one of those guys, and like Mark Madsen. That's I said, like, whatever, and that's I hate to use Madsen because he's early. But one of my assistants, Coach Madsen, he goes, he's like Madsen. I said, stop. Madsen was a first-round pick. Stop with that. But he has that mojo.
How's his Spanish?
His Spanish, not so good.
Yeah. Madsen's wasn't either. So anyway, deep cut.
Yeah.
You got to find a way, though, is what I'm getting at. Obviously, you're at one of the great all-time academic places there is in our country. But in this day and age, maybe you do got to go find somebody at Claremont Mud Scripts and somebody at CSU Dominguez.
You know what? I think, we're inverse. We want to get it done with high school guys. And that's going to be our biggest, our best ability to attract the best players and the best students and build culture. But we want to work on the margins, too. And those guys, you like to have Gardner Minshew in there as your backup quarterback. that can handle it if need
ECU
be.
Pirate now, Coach. Tread lightly. That's our
Well, he's a
territory. That's what
He's
I
a
say.
Coug, man.
I
He's
know.
a legend.
Hey.
He is a legend.
He tried to break his own hand with a hammer to get out of ECU, Coach. So we know the story.
Yeah, that's funny. That is funny. True and funny.
So
Yeah.
this year's team, obviously, you got a little bit of an encore that you got to pull off here.
Yeah, it'll be. I think this is a great test, and I mean, I really feel comfortable in the sense that we're going to do it, with our analytics and everything else. We had 5 guys that started games last year. We returned the most minutes in league. So, like I said, I think we're culture and program are ahead of schedule, and we'll need some guys to step up. I do think the young 3 freshmen we have, I don't want to count on them, but they're going to be fine.
You say analytics, I'm thinking you're at Stanford. What do you got to do? Just like go to the cafeteria and just be like, hey,
Yo,
you.
yeah, come
Let's
here,
go.
punch some numbers. I need a couple new algorithms here.
I mean, the pool to choose from has got to be insane.
No, the worst part of this whole thing is the nerd ball thing has gone so. I get more inquiries like, "Can I help? I want to learn." I'm like, I just send them to my general manager. I said, "Here, you do." I mean, but it's too much information. To be honest,
I mean that makes sense.
too many people want to get in there, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I got a couple things I really like."
Hey, sometimes, what was it? He was joking with Hubert Davis earlier. Like, I don't know if you thought about this, but maybe Carolina basketball, 2 bigs at once. Thought about that? Groundbreaking stuff. Sometimes
Can we
basic,
go back to that?
but sometimes basic basketball's basic basketball, right?
They kind of were the forerunners of that.
Yeah.
They were just smash you on the glass and run right downhill.
All right, I have one question about your past, but
Sure.
I got to get
Is
this
this the one that you've never been asked?
no one's ever going to ask you this one. I don't think anyway. But
It's 8 minutes, so we got it.
I know this first one though is you've lived in some world-class cities, man.
Yes.
Please tell me what's your favorite spot from Columbia.
You won't. You'll get mad when I tell you.
Okay. No,
it's all different time in life.
It's not an authentic New York slice, I hope.
Oh,
it's not Sbarro's.
I love. Do you say the place to live or place to eat?
Eat.
Oh, the best place to eat.
Yeah. You come on. You got San Diego. You got San Fran.
I got some
now
great
where you
places.
are. Now where you are. It's
I got some
Palo
great
Alto
places.
there.
I got some great
But you
places.
spent what 6 years at the city in Columbia?
Let me just tell you. I'm telling you.
Even before when you went to college.
There's a restaurant. It deserves a couple stars. I'm getting through the bear right now.
Okay.
Called Black Cypress.
Black Cypress. Okay. What
It's-
part of New York?
It's in Pullman, Washington.
Oh, Pullman, Washington.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Nick, who runs Black Cypress, a Greek-Italian place. It is to die for.
Now, when you say the bear, are we talking original beef level bear or fancy bear?
Fancy bear.
Okay, gotcha.
Fancy bear.
Gotcha.
Fancy
All right.
bear.
Now,
I
fi-
like your bear knowledge.
Now, finally.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you learn more about Alexander Hamilton from the Broadway play or at Hamilton College?
Broadway play?
The Broadway play.
No doubt. No doubt. No, that's very. I still think I have very limited. I still can't understand the Federalist Papers exactly what he's all doing. He's like a bastard child from somewhere in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It's a wild story. And I'm trying. And you know what? The worst part is I don't really know where I stand politically, so I'm not really sure if
Where he was?
Yeah,
Trick,
where
did you
was
intersect?
I in the same? Was the Federalist Papers that jive with what I think politically? So I can't quite get it undone. But I loved Hamilton. I didn't. You know what? I got to be honest. I didn't even love Hamilton that much. Broadway show.
The show.
It's
Really?
It's overrated.
Thank you.
It's overrated.
What about
Well, you know what? You caught it late. Maybe if I caught it first, but even I caught it late.
Whoa,
I think-
you guys are slandering.
No,
the
it's
first
not-
act
I know,
is
no, you
amazing
can't say-
now. Come on.
We have a friend of ours, Hayes Permar, who is a Broadway guy who's going to I'm sure the text will hit
Yeah,
once he hits
good.
this part.
You got your diploma tucked away somewhere securely?
I think I'm safe.
It was.
I think I'm safe.
I think it was more. The reason why I find it kind of overrated is after a while, like the sing-songy rap gets a little old after a while.
Crazy. You're crazy.
It's just a thought.
This guy's smart. I like this guy. I like this guy. I like this guy. I like this guy.
How the hell did you end up at Hamilton College, by the way?
This is.
Weren't you born in Texas?
I got more
You're
stories.
an Army brat.
No, not at all. I love this.
Okay.
The best. Last guy was like, I know your dad's a Vietnam vet. You grew up on an Army base. I just let him roll. I'm not. So I grew up in Houston, and my dad was in Dallas, mom in Houston. Blah blah blah.
The other guy.
And I was a late bloomer, and only basketball opportunities I had were junior college. My mom's like, "You're not going to junior college."
No.
There's
You go
not
to
many.
Berlin.
There's not many academic. options in Texas with Trinity. They didn't even recruit me.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I was going to Texas or Texas A&M. I was going to learn to get a teaching diploma, teaching certificate, coach.
Yeah.
And someone in my dad's office said, "Hey,
NFL."
So what?
and she go to prep school." Didn't even know what it was. Somehow it was Deerfield Academy, which was the most.
Dude, you're naming some schools and places.
Deerfield
I'm like,
is right out of a movie, right out of it. It's a G20 school. I had no idea, didn't belong there. I realized quickly that what I didn't know, that these guys were smart. They're all blue bloods, but they worked hard. They were smart. It was like me walking into an NBA practice.
Really?
Like academically.
I think you'd hold your own.
So my D3 my coach, he rattled off, here's where I think you could play. And I went there because I thought I wanted to get an Ivy League. I wanted to play in the Ivy League or go to an Ivy League school. But I always use this all the time. I said I wasn't good enough or wasn't smart enough or maybe both. And I ended up in Hamilton. And they recruited me, and at one point they were number 1 in the country before, like 10 years before. And I said, oh, they're number 1. They care about it. And we got to number 1. It was fun. So I'm trying to replicate that at Stanford. They were once number 1. So we're trying to go for it. It'll take a little time.
We got faith in you, Coach.
I love it.
Even with your bad Hamilton takes, it's fine.
Oh, no. We'll iron that out. We'll all go 3 sit in Hamilton, and you'll feel a little squeamish. You're like, oh, no. Joe and Kyle were right. They were right.
But you didn't have any place in the city that you like to eat?
Come on, man. Pastiches.
Okay.
Pastiches. Oh, no, I have plenty of places. I like to eat. You're looking at me. It was built into my ballad of Morningside Heights, is what we sang after every win at Columbia.
Right. Yeah.
And we threw in, let's see if I can remember it. Been around the city once or twice. Never passed on a cornet slice.
There you go. On that note.
Yeah. Cornet
Coach,
slice about like that. Yes.
We appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate
2016
it. No
Columbia Lions forever,
right,
Coach.
Yes.
I still owe you some money.
We won.
I know. I owe you.
A percentage.
Gotcha.
A percentage.
Gotcha.
Technical difficulties. Look at this. Here we go.
Yep.
Hold on. We're almost there.
We're good.
back.
Hey! We made it.
All right, I need 10 minutes to talk Hamilton to refute.
No.
Keep it rolling.
Hold, please. All right, I'm convinced I'm not going to be able to get these clips to play, although I think Ken said I did have one working. So let me just try this. There are actual college football games this weekend.
A lot. It's a really good weekend.
Okay. So I won't be able to do a lightning round, but I know that Hayes likes the music. So let me see what I can find here. Hold, please. Hold, please. Hold, please.
To get to lightning round. A lot to get to lightning round.
It's not quite a lightning round, but let's talk a little bit of college football. There are some games this weekend that, of course, have piqued my interest. Starting tonight, Chip, with the ECU Pirates taking on the Sex quarterback from Tulane. Tulane minus 6.5. Don't tell James I like the Green Wave at home tonight down in the Bayou. John Summerall getting his national stage here to try out for everybody.
Yeah, I think that ECU playing away from home. I mean, you were watching all the way. The Army game was a little egg in a spoon, right?
Yeah.
You know, like what?
No. Sex
quarterback. He literally got suspended for having the sex.
I know.
What does that make him?
Finish your actual talk so that I don't ruin the podcast.
I think that
So what does that make him? The sex quarterback.
I think that ECU did a good job with a good win, but man, you probably should have punished the Black Knights a little bit more. They kind of doofed it up a little. There's this ECU team away from home against the Tulane squad that is in the upper crust of the American. We might see that the Mendoza line between are you playing for a spot in the American Athletic Conference Championship game is exposed right here, because Memphis Tulane, North Texas.
Yeah, big game, South Florida,
USF.
North Texas.
But I think ECU is obviously in a good spot, in a healthy spot, but probably the class difference between these two, especially in New Orleans, is a touchdown.
You're biting your tongue?
Yeah, my commentary is solely on the sex quarterback. I just remember I was the reason on the podcast that you kept bringing up cunnilingus, and now I feel like I know you brought up sex quarterback before, but this is a long convoluted story. You ready? Quickly.
Yes.
David Carradine. Does anybody know how David Carradine died?
No. Oh, he asphyxiated himself.
Autoerotic
Yes.
asphyxiation. So the next year we play fantasy football, and Carter Brenneman's team name is David Carradine Sex Rope. So it's like, what else do you call the thing that was there for the thing? That's what I feel like, sex quarterback. It just feels like it's like we're just cutting to the chase. It's sex quarterback. Kids don't listen. I'm sorry. Why did you invite me? Continue.
Carolina is off this weekend.
Bye week. Take bye week minus 3.5.
So is Duke. Duke getting a breather, but
We're still going to get UNC news this weekend. We're still going to get UNC news.
The Wolfpack goes to play under touchdown Jesus, under the globe, under the Golden Dome.
Weekend?
Yep.
NC State at number 16 Notre Dame. The last time they were there, they got their doors blown off by a stronger, bigger team up front. Bigger team pushed them around in the secondary. The number's 22.5.
Which one of you guys is taking the pack?
It's not me.
Neither of you guys?
No.
It's not me.
And I think the play is Notre Dame team total over. And if
Notre Dame's got to win out, and they got to start getting some style points.
Well, but here's the thing is their defense until last week had not looked good. Like they're calling their defensive coordinator is a guy named Chris Ash. You may remember former Rutgers quarterback.
I do.
Yeah, they've been calling him Chris Trash because the defense has been terrible.
Clever.
They miss Al Golden, and Al Golden is probably looking at Notre Dame in his current state at the Cincinnati Bengals and being like, yeah, maybe it would have been nice to be there too. But I think that Notre Dame will be able to score. But here is my money one. I don't even know if I have not been able to find this prop as often, but the longest rush prop, I would go Jeremiah Love, longest rush over. I think that Notre Dame's going to have some explosive plays through the run and game and run it up.
This is quite a run for the Wolfpack now. They close out. They're 4-2. They need 2 more wins. Carolina might be one of them. They're probably going to nut up for either Georgia Tech or Florida State. I suspect it comes against Florida State, but their next games are Notre Dame at Pitt, Georgia Tech at Miami, Florida State, Carolina. Like, the less said about what the Wolfpack has in front of them, the better.
I agree with you there that they're not going. How many games did you mention? 5?
6.
They have 6 left.
They're
they
not
have
going
4
5-1. They're probably not going 4-2, but they're not going 0-6.
Probably not. Probably not.
They're not going 0-6. You wouldn't sign up for that.
Not.
And
he's never lost to Pitt. He's never lost to Virginia, who he took care of.
Okay.
And he's never lost to Pitt.
I'm a podcast listener. Yeah. I do believe Law of the Wolf applies more at home.
Yeah.
But like, would this not be an ultimate? Like,
oh God, I can't even wrap my brain around.
I'm not right now.
I'm not talking about November 29th until we get to November.
Right now, no, I like.
You're talking about Pack
this weekend.
Okay.
When there's like no chance, no reason to think, no reason to believe. I like a Hollywood.
Notre Dame kills ACC teams,
200,
especially up front. And
that's the thing is like
Hollywood Smothers. All right. For the record,
it's 22.5 points. But what you're saying is you want the points.
To these points. Yes.
No, but you're saying it's a lot of points.
22.5. 22.5.
Fair enough. They have a live quarterback.
Give me the pack to be frisky, and maybe they lose late because, like you said, Notre Dame needs it. TV needs Notre Dame. It's all going to work out. But I don't see the pack walking away down losing by 35.
When they went there in 17, it was Naheem got off the plane and he had a parka and a wool hat on. And I was like, oh, fuck.
It's 52 degrees.
Yeah, it wasn't even that cold. The game was October 28th. I'm like.
Part of that is looking the part, though. Like, you feel like you're at Notre Dame. You feel
I was like, damn it, Nightmare. You are not instilling confidence right now.
Is there Hollywood Smothers over 200 yards rushing?
200?
Yeah, 200. Hey, I saw there was a Carolina Panthers guy that just ran for 200 yards.
There was. Rico Dowdle.
We're riding that wave right now. Smothers,
this is a Panther-free podcast today, by the way. If you were tuning in to hear any Panther takes, you're out of luck. Go listen to Julian Council.
They got at least win 2 in a row.
And the Cokeheads.
Really stop talking
get out of here with your nonsense. There are actually no other interesting ACC games. No, Chip. Don't even start with whatever you're about to say.
Patterson's hard over here.
Do not.
No,
Chip,
I
don't do it. Chip,
Mike,
Chip, Chip.
no.
Chip, no. But in the top 25, we have
Mike
multiple.
Norvell is 8-17 after a loss.
Okay.
Can Pat Narduzzi go and make it worse?
Okay.
We Cover 3 podcast did a live show at Madison Social in Collegetown, downtown Tallahassee.
Yeah.
And one of their hats and T-shirts is "Noon Games Suck." Like, they've got that negative energy coming off the loss. Like, I'm telling you, it's a dicey proposition. It is what I like to call alt line money line. You either go Florida State minus 16.5 or Pitt gets it done on the field. Create a 17-point middle. Can't lose. Let's go.
Meanwhile, in the top 25, we get Ohio State, who goes to Illinois looking for some redemption from just an awful performance against Indiana. We really haven't seen much of Ohio State, the number 1 team in the country, since they beat Texas. Chip, what do you think?
I think that their performance against Washington and Seattle is probably a sign about.
I forgot. At CBS, the Big Ten. My bad, man. Of course, we've seen it. We've all been tuning in.
No, do you know? All right, how about this? Let's go.
I've only watched Washington
Big
football
Ten,
myself.
Trivia time. What is the most amount of points a single opponent has scored on Ohio State this season?
Without looking?
Yeah.
7.
9. And bonus points. Who do you think it was?
Washington.
Ohio.
The Ohio.
Bobcats in
Bobcats, baby.
Athens.
Athens.
Yeah. So
Party's cool.
it is a phenomenal defense. They lost 14 players to the NFL, and the dudes that just came up, it's kind of a little bit scary.
And they have Caleb Downs, who Bill Belichick should have called and given $5 million to be his Rodney Harrison. Sorry, I already gave him my advice.
But like, they haven't even unlocked their offense yet. They've been slowly building it up, load managing their new starting quarterback. But Jeremiah Smith is just the easy button. Like any time that they're in a gotta have it down, it's a clear out crosser. Here's what's going to happen. Everyone's going to run this way, and we're going to ask if your one guy can keep up with Jeremiah Smith, and the answer is no every single time.
No. Speaking of NC State's trip to Notre Dame in 2017, Eli Drinkwitz, head coach at Missouri.
Big game for MIZ.
At home, taking on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama, a road favorite of 2.5. Vegas is begging you to take Alabama, which means they think the Drink and Mizzou are going to win this game. I am highly suspect of that. I think Drink is a sunny day coach, much like Ryan Finley was a sunny day quarterback. And this will not be a sunny day. I think Alabama's probably figured their shit out. That's what I'm getting at.
I think that this is a disrespectful total.
Okay. 51.5.
Yeah.
Go
over. This is a spot where the sandwich, we had a delicious ice cream sandwich from Two Roosters right here.
Baby.
Come and get the hockey puck Sammy
over at the Lenovo Center.
Lenovo Center.
Yep.
Missouri has not played a road game yet. Missouri's toughest opponent so far has been Kansas. They've been living in the cushy confines. Ahmad Hardy is part of a rushing attack that's rolling up like 229 yards per game. Bo Pribula has Penn State fans wondering if they picked the wrong quarterback. Former Penn State quarterback who's over at Missouri just running for touchdowns left and right.
Go ahead. Finish.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So what we're going to see is that Alabama, they had the Georgia game in Athens. Pour it out. You had the Vanderbilt revenge game.
Yep.
You've got Tennessee on deck. I think the defense gives it up. I think Ty Simpson carves up a Missouri pass defense that maybe isn't as good the further back that you get. Good up front on the D-line, but a little bit less so as you get to the secondary. I see this one being a little high-scoring, shootout-y, 34-31 type game.
Okay.
Can I give you the fans' take?
Yeah.
Anytime Alabama or somebody in the top 5 is in the last 4 minutes of a game and it's within a score, like I'm going to watch. Like I'm a sports fan, right? Aside from that, I am not sitting down or making plans to watch a Missouri football game until they're in the Final Four. Like I don't care about if they're in the college football playoff, I'm not watching Missouri, right? Missouri off my radar. That's what the average fan is thinking. I don't care.
All right. Last one, gents. We got Indiana. Kurt Cignetti on the road at Oregon. This
Strangely, I do kind of like Indiana football.
This has dipped down to 6.5. I actually think Oregon's going to pace them the same way that Ohio State and Notre Dame did last year. Chip, you have a take on this?
Yeah. So Kurt Cignetti I love his honesty. He said when we went up against Ohio State and Notre Dame, and he even includes Michigan, which was a 20-15 win, he said we weren't good enough up front. We couldn't block for our quarterback. We messed that up. They went and got a guy named Pat Coogan from Notre Dame. Like, all of their portal additions are all about beefing up the offensive line with players who can hang against the best competition. We'll see. You'll be tuning into this game because it is big time on CBS with little Gary Danielson, Brad Nessler, and Jenny Dell. And you are going to notice in the first couple possessions, because if Oregon, they got a guy named Bear Alexander, big guy number 1, who's been a journeyman. He's been at USC, he's been at UGA, but he seems to finally found his home. They got Mateo Uyunglele, who's going to make more money than his little brother did as an edge rusher instead of as a bad quarterback or a tight end taking snaps. And I think that you're going to be able to tell if Indiana can block Oregon, we could be in for an interesting game. If they can't block Oregon, then they're in trouble because I don't think they can hold up against this Oregon passing attack. Freshman wide receiver Jacorian Moore is a dude. The way that you got the tingles about Malachi Tony, wait till you see Jacorian Moore. That guy is just true freshman wide receiver monster. Super excited about this game. Autzen Stadium also, the home field advantage there is that they don't have like Mo Bamba. They don't have any like cute cheers. They just yell. It's just like nonstop droning yell. They don't have 100,000, but they've got 60,000 and they just don't stop yelling. Good scenes in Eugene on Saturday.
It's like the American Ryder Cup crowd, but without the
vulgarity.
Yeah, and the things focused to people's lives.
Of course, we encourage you to use the DraftKings Sportsbook. And since, unlike Ovius, I'm not adventurous, here you go.
What's your favorite touchdown? For me, it's the next one. Because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. From first touchdown score to anytime TD props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. Here's the best part. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code OG25. That's code OG25. You can turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of the Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Minimum -500 odds required. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
All right, as we careen, where did we go?
Hello?
Where did who go?
Hello?
Nobody's on the screen. I have no idea what's happening right now, but I think you can hear me.
Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hale.
Yeah, we're about to take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hale. Use that promo code OG25. Use it on the app. Download. Go pick it up in North Hills, and you'll get yourself a smoothie, get yourself a bowl, all those good things, thanks to our friends at Happy and Hale. Yes, we are careening into the longest edition of this program of all time. We have a Seth Jarvis interview to play for you. Before then, you guys have any final takes, any going aways here?
No, go Canes.
Go Canes.
No.
What?
Hold on. Final takes?
Yeah.
Final
I
take.
thought we started. Look,
All right,
I'm
here.
ready to get in there. I'm ready to defend.
No. The final take is I'm sick and tired of people not thinking about the players on this team on the University of North Carolina.
Oh,
that is just like that is Everyone's here on the surface. They're just scraping the surface like, oh, look, Bill Belichick didn't work out. Like, think about players that are being failed right now. 70 players that signed up to be coached by Mr. 6 Super Bowls.
Big brain on
them.
them.
And it's just like.
I mean, I'm not trying to hate, but there's a little bit of me that says some people saw where it was going and some people weren't. Like you jumped on the wrong ship, right?
It's fair.
I mean, you're correct. You should never blame kids, but I don't know. If you fell in love with this, that's on you.
Kind of on you.
Hey, go Canes. Go Canes. I'm sticking with my original. Go Canes.
Hayes Perbar, what's coming up at the Rialto that you'd like to pimp real quick?
Halloween movies. Come check them out. Scary, funny, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Come check it out.
Get yourself an OG light
Halloween
while
movies.
you're over at the Rialto.
It's on tap. On tap.
Chip Patterson, where are you tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow we'll be at the home base,
Home base.
on CBS Sports HQ. And then, of course, the instant reaction show every Saturday night. We go live on youtube.com/cover3 around 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. So come and hang out as we recap an entire day.
My only last thing, ECU plays tonight.
Yeah.
One of my favorite traditions in college sports is Pirate Radio goes live until the last caller calls. So whatever time they finish, sometimes every now and then I'll wake up from I fall asleep watching college football and you wake up and on Twitter, they're still going on the live stream at 2:30 because people keep calling. So whatever ECU does tonight, just keep calling. Keep calling. Go Pirates. Go Canes. Let's go.
All right, let me see if I can load this Seth Jarvis interview because it requires a little bit of dexterity, which I don't normally have, but here we go.
We are in the Lenovo Center green room, or at least one of the green rooms, with Seth Jarvis, TV star, hockey star, and TV star now, thanks to the Amazon face-off. You're already shaking your head like, nah, we ain't doing that. No. We ain't doing that. So we're running this a week after the Amazon show debuted, and I was at the local on Thursday night with the season ticket members who got to check it out, and you talking with Mike Maniscalco and kind of the setup and things like that. You really are for real. You do not like watching yourself back, do you?
No.
You don't like any of that stuff,
I hate it. I absolutely, yeah. Anything that has to do with me talking, I can't stand.
So how did you sign up for this?
Well, I thought this might never come around again, so it'd be a cool thing to try out. But it doesn't mean I have to enjoy watching it. I hope other people enjoy it, but for myself,
that's
it's
the difference. You like doing this stuff. You're like you have a good personality. You just don't want to watch yourself, is what you're getting.
Yeah, I love doing all this stuff. I have no problem with that. It's just, I've never watched it back.
It's funny, watching it back. That was a hell of a couple of months stretch too, from the Four Nations tournament with the Miko Rantanen trade, which they got footage of you and KK on the golf course with things like that. And that's actually where we can start with this. And I think what was interesting about this is that we don't really get a look at that. I've been doing this long enough, and I've talked to enough current and former Canes about a trade deadline day and what that's like. So to see it on the golf course where you guys were kind of like checking your phone, like Joe and I would check our phones, like that's got to be a weird experience, right?
Oh yeah, we're just like it's not like it comes in earlier and we find out before. You find out with everybody else on Twitter, or whatnot. And we had a feeling something kind of was going to happen. And then it just so happened they were filming when it did, and they got our genuine reaction to it.
It seems like we are still discussing that sort of thing. I can tell why it was a focus of the Amazon show because it was such a big storyline of last year. Mm-hmm. But I kind of get the sense that you guys have it's just the business. You guys have moved on and everything else from what had happened back in February timeframe.
Totally, yeah. I mean, it happens everywhere. Mm-hmm. It just so happened that it's kind of one of the first times it's kind of happened here where a really big guy comes in and it doesn't quite work out the way everyone thought it would. Mm-hmm. But you see it all over the NHL.
Yeah.
Stuff like that'll happen, just maybe not to the magnitude of bringing in a guy like that.
You've obviously had success here, and you have your own little niche here in the world, right? But the Four Nations Cup, I got to imagine as a young Manitoban, you were like, man, this would be pretty cool. So from that part of the experience, now that you've had a little bit of time to think about it, I mean, that was pretty cool, right?
Jeez, that was sick. Yeah, I've never had a chance to play in something like that, especially at that magnitude. And everything that was going on in the world, it felt like everything kind of fell onto hockey and everything kind of got blown out of proportion a little bit. But I thought the tournament went unbelievable, especially when you win. Everything's a lot more fun. But, to be able to be a part of that and experience what I got to with friends, family, and then just myself in that environment, in the high pressure situations with those group of guys. It was incredible.
And I know you know, and I know your peers know, but how many times during that tournament or even the gold medal game did one of your Canadian teammates say, "God damn, Slavin's really good"?
Yeah, that was, if they didn't know before, well, everyone knew before.
Right.
They definitely found out in the night to find out on what it's like on the other end of it. And yeah, everyone knew what we were getting into. You got to be focused when he's on the ice because he's knocking pucks down and turning them over pretty quickly. So I'm super happy for him because he put on a hell of a show and really exposed himself to the world on how good he really is.
How you feeling?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know every end of the
last
season.
couple of times we've talked to you, there's been a shoulder surgery.
something.
There's been
So-
trying to gain weight. I feel like you look a little slimmer now.
Yep, better shape. So
Yeah.
hopefully that continues. But yeah, summer was great. Did a lot of rehab, and like I said, got into probably the best shape I've been in. So it's I'm excited.
So what kind of brought you there on that? Is, I mean, every offseason you do an evaluation of how your year went, how you're feeling, what you can do a little bit differently. So when you say you kind of got, I always feel like you like the whole idea of best shape. What does that mean for you?
For me, it's just being able to play. I feel like I can go play 27 minutes a night and be fine. And that's kind of the level I want to get to because I know I'm not going to play that much. So when I play 19, 18, 20, whatever it is, I know I'll be good through that stretch and I won't have any problems with whether cardio, whatever, legs. So just really going to the furthest extent of how good I can feel, just so when I'm playing 7 or 8 less minutes than I think I can, I'll be fine.
I realize you made a couple of dollars on your rookie deal, but what was last summer like and stepping into that new deal? And did it change anything for you mentally? Did it change anything for you like that first Friday of the first paycheck of the regular season? Were you like, oh,
yeah, it looks a little bit different. It looks a little different.
Knew it was more.
Yeah, it looked a little bit different than before, but no, I mean, other than understanding that the organization wants you here and sees you a part of their core, that definitely changes because obviously through 3 years you have an idea of where you stand, but you never know for sure. So knowing that they want you here and then just the expectations of, okay, you were good last year, you got to play better, get better. And it's kind of the same expectations I have myself every summer is going into it, get better, and then for next season just take some more steps every day and see where it ends up.
Although, as the Amazon show highlights, you're hard on yourself.
Yeah, I don't think people knew that.
Yeah, I mean, I get every player is going to have a level of own self-critique. Every professional does that, but I think that was one of the more revealing aspects of that Amazon show was just how hard you are on yourself about these types of things. That goes in contrast to what publicly people see of you, fun, all the highlights and everything like that. So as hard as you are, you make the Four Nations, you make that team, you are getting this contract, right? All that kind of stuff. How do you process all that?
It doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
I think obviously those experiences are super cool, super grateful for the chances, but everything happened. And that means nothing anymore. Whether I played in the Four Nations or I didn't, I'd be in the same position I am right now.
Okay.
So I think being hard on myself has got me to that point, and that's something that kind of, I'm crazy, and there's ticks inside me that kind of bring stuff out of me.
Yeah.
And so I think that show you really saw on the ice what it's kind of like with me and what kind of how I operate. And that's what's got me here. And it can be detrimental sometimes, and I've been working on it, but it's something I never want to lose because that's what's gotten me to this point.
I was say you say crazy, but most of what we talk about you on our program. We talk about NC State, we talk about North Carolina and Duke. And you think about college kids now being able to get paid. One thing we try to explain to people, sometimes you get that money.
Oh, yeah.
And you can all of a sudden feel like, oh, I mean, I don't need to work anymore. I don't need to do the extra rep. I don't need to do this. So when you say crazy, it almost feels like, though, that's how you have to be in order to keep pushing yourself after you've reached a certain plateau financially.
I mean, thankfully for me, money's never been something that motivated me. I've watched my parents struggle my whole life, and so knowing that there's way more to life than money and that my goal isn't to make the most money I can in the NHL. It's to be the best player I can be, to win championships. And so that's what motivates me. There's tons of people where you get money and you kind of get lazy, and that can happen. But thankfully, the way I was raised, that's never been an option. And it's okay. It's nice to know that I'm financially secure, but that's the last thing on my mind whenever I'm working out or playing hockey.
Let's go back to the end of the season and get into the Eastern Conference Finals in a year where I don't think people had that expectation going into it in the preseason, but I think we all know better now. We know you guys have your own expectations, and you see this team in Florida and they win another Stanley Cup. And I go back to what Sebastian Aho talked about in the offseason, where there was almost kind of pushing on the organization, hey, this is that standard. We got to get there if we're going to get over the top. How did you view the end of it? Were you more on the Sebastian Aho side? Did you kind of go on in your own little retreat and think about the season yourself? How did you view the end of that year?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Fishy made a lot of good points that is the standard. You win 2 cups in a row, you're the best team in the world.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah. So you have to look at what they're doing and see what parts of their game you can bring to ours, because obviously not every team's the same, but you can definitely take bits and pieces from winning teams and implement them in your own style. And then for me, a lot of it was falling on me, Fishy, Svet shoulders, that they have those very top-end guys, and we need to get there. And so I think a lot of that is they're homegrown. Or most of them are drafted in Florida, kind of brought up in Florida. That's where they kind of got into that position. And so for us, it's taking that next step because everyone talks about Carolina has no stars. We have to become the stars, and that's kind of been my whole thought process is if we're not going to go and trade for somebody, maybe we don't need to. Maybe we take the next step and become the stars, and who knows what'll happen.
Did you go back and watch any of that series, or when it was over, it was over?
Oh, I watched. Yeah, I had to. I would have driven myself nuts if I didn't. So I definitely went back and looked it over a little bit and just saw what I could have done differently, what we could have done differently, how they beat us, and just kind of, obviously it's a different year, things will change, but just pick piece parts.
We talked to Rod in the summer, just our usual check-in with Rod in the summer, and he pushed back on the whole boring style of hockey thing. He's pointing to Florida, saying they're doing what we do, right? So from a player's perspective, when you see that, you see a team kind of doing what you do. What's the takeaway from that? Is it just elevating yourself? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, I think definitely parts of it. I think obviously they do play similar. They obviously do it better because they're winning.
Right.
But I think a lot of it, 5-on-5, I felt like for the most part we were pretty even. Like it wasn't too big of a gap. It was the special teams, the power play, and that again falls on a few of us that we need to elevate that. And I feel like that's kind of what we're missing right now is if we get that power play rolling at the right time, anything can happen.
So, is Rod's favorite adjective, adverb, is it fuck? Is it fucking? Like,
yeah.
Because all I ever hear is the goal. When the social media puts it out, I hear the goal horn. So it's kind of funny to hear it uncensored on the Amazon thing. It's like every other word.
It's close. Yeah, he's not quite the angel he makes himself out to be. There's some swearing in there for sure.
I was gonna say after a while though, it probably just kind of rolls. You don't even think about it. It's just part of the sentence, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like what or the.
So the other thing I was curious about is I'm not trying to call you an old guy now, but you're
23.
23.
Yeah,
you got
23.
This is the time of the year you got these new guys coming in. You see these new kids in camp. Do you feel like an older guy now, or do you still feel like, hey man, I'm still one of these young guys out there?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still one of the young guys. But
okay.
I definitely think there's a little bit more responsibility in terms of leadership that I can bring.
Yeah.
And for these young guys, obviously there's guys trying to crack the lineup and crack our roster, and they're right there. So just whatever I can do to kind of help them. If obviously they probably won't reach out to me, but if they need anything, just to let them know that I'm here and I'm not trying to push them away because they might come for my spot. If they're good enough to play, I'd love them on our team.
You're still young enough to understand a 6'7" Selly, though.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I do.
You understand that one?
Yeah.
Okay. See, the only reason why I know is because I got a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old.
There you
go. That's how I keep up with all these kinds of things to explain that kind of stuff. I always wonder what it is for somebody, because I remember you get into your 20s and the things that the 18, the 19-year-olds are talking about are not on the same level of what you were growing up with.
Definitely
and
not.
Whether or not that actually, if you try to keep up with it, or you're just like, man, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok too much. I completely understand.
All right.
What's your favorite?
What's the TikTok algorithm feeding you right now?
Right now.
You can be honest.
You can be honest.
All right.
Mine are golf swings and MILFs. It's a thing.
There you go.
Mine is nothing but youth hockey jokes at this point.
Yeah.
The junior cane stuff.
A lot of old football highlights, actually. There's a page called Who's Next.
Okay.
I think it's Who's Next, and he makes the greatest football edits I've ever seen in my life. So he just narrates over them. I will watch those for hours.
All right. Who's your football team?
The Giants.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
How?
I was a massive Brandon Jacobs fan when I was younger.
Okay.
Big old running back.
Yeah.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
He
When I
kind of
was
got me
younger,
into football.
Is Jackson Dart the deal or what?
I hope so. I really do. Yeah, I don't know. I like him, but I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
It's better than Russ.
So far, well, I mean, we won with him, so yeah. But we'll see. We'll have to see.
Closer on the scouting report, Ehlers is a guy you go out and get. I think you're going to play with him at least to start the season. Give us an idea of the big acquisition here for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, he's incredible. I think I don't know how much you guys watch our practice. He can score by himself.
Yeah.
He can those 2-on-2 rushes we do. He can create whatever he wants. And so to have someone like that in the lineup that I can kind of give him the puck, go find space, and I know he'll find me or at least create something out of it. I'm super excited to play with him, and I think he's going to be a really big boost for our team.
Given the Winnipeg, like where their friends back at home who are like, oh yeah, you guys you got a dude from us.
Yeah. I don't know who my buddies cheer for anymore. It's still 50-50 on us for the Jets. So
is it?
Yeah. They were mad that Ehlers came here, but then they're like kind of excited because I get to play with him. But yeah, they're on the fence still.
What's his personality like? My theory is you guys need more motherfuckers. That's my theory. That's a compliment, of course.
Yeah.
But does he fall in that category?
It's early to tell.
Okay.
I don't think so, but you never know. I mean, we've only been together for like 3 weeks, so we're still trying to warm him up a little bit.
Maybe when the lights come on, there'll be a little bit of
I'm
fire
hoping
in there.
there's a little fuck you in that. But,
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely a competitive edge that he brings that I think will be exciting.
I think Fishy's a motherfucker. He's a little bit more silent than people realize. But,
yeah.
You know,
motherfucks me a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Yeah. No, he definitely is.
If you try to compete with him, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Gilio's found out about that
the hard way.
I mean, you got Gilio on the arena putt that one time.
I still don't understand how you made that.
I'm a player.
It's what it is. But I was going to say, Aho got annoyed with Tetris. We weren't doing Tetris fast enough for him, apparently.
Makes sense.
Because we started at the slowest level. He's like, can't you make this go faster?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, we got to ease into it. He was not about easing into it.
No, there's no patience over there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
He's a father now, though, so maybe. But.
Yeah. I was going to say, if anything, he might just be more sleep deprived at this point.
Exactly.
So that's another matter altogether.
Do you see any difference in him? I thought 2 years ago there was a real shift towards not the captain, the identity of the team really is kind of running through him these last 2 years. Do you see even another gear for him?
He's a big leader for us. Obviously, like you guys say, he's not the one. Jordo's still the one yelling, talking a lot.
Yeah.
But I think if you were to pick someone that leads by example, everyone kind of follows behind him. He definitely leads the charge, and I think he's the perfect guy to do that. The vocal side's coming out more and more. I think last season it started to take more steps.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's still not something that obviously no one's really comfortable with it, but it's something that he's working on. And I think he's getting better at.
When do you say not comfortable with it?
Well, I don't think anyone wants to go and motherfuck their teammates or yell to a certain extent. Obviously, some people are okay with it, but I think he's getting more comfortable with knowing that when he talks or he yells, guys listen.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest hurdle for people to get over is even if they're yelling, they don't think anyone's listening. But for him, he's someone that is really respected.
Does Fishy curse in English or Finnish?
Both.
Yeah.
He usually Finnish.
Have you picked up on your Finnish curses?
No, it's gotten. I know the ones that he yells at me, so I know a good 4. And that's,
4? That feels like a lot.
That seems like a good number.
It's definitely enough to know what he's saying.
Okay.
But it's more English now, just with the less Finns. That it's you gotta make a transition at some point.
So I gotta imagine that Keishan has picked up on all the English curse words by now.
100%.
Okay, that's what you get. That's what you need to know, right?
It's basics.
Okay.
Listen to Roddy enough, you'll get it.
So we're sitting here joking about the language and things like that, but I guess what you're kind of hinting at, and I'm curious about, is everybody responds in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you classify in the years that you've been here now the dynamics of the room and connecting to people to kind of get through those messages? Some people will get yelled at. Some people don't react to that. Rod's got to talk to you differently than he might talk to Jordan, right? So how does that dynamic work right now?
I was told your generation was soft, but
Yeah, I think to an extent.
yeah.
I think I respond well to getting yelled at and,
Okay. You do.
and getting sworn at.
Not everyone does.
No,
You know,
no, 100%.
I have a 20-year-old. I'm saying this that your group has gone through more than most Gen Xers give you credit for.
Yes.
So
Yes, that
we
is
are
true.
cognizant of this.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think everyone has a pretty good feel. We've had pretty much the same group for a while.
Yeah.
And so everyone has a feel of how to approach people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, I'm not out here motherfucking anybody, really.
No, nor
But,
should you.
No.
So what I'm curious then is when so about that dynamic that you talk about and the guys who have been here for a while, when somebody new comes in, because it's not just Ehlers, right? Miller's also here too.
Yep.
You also have.
I'm not saying anything bad about that.
No,
No.
scary.
Monster.
Yeah.
So how do you? What is the usual?
Definitely qualifies as a new motherfucker.
What is
That's a big boy.
What is the usual? Yeah. What is the usual process for somebody new to coming in? Like what? Is it just general hanging out time? Is it just you're going to figure this out in practice? Is there how does that work for somebody new coming in to understand what the culture is about that
Yeah.
you guys have established?
No, you don't. You just kind of treat them as if they've been there for a while.
Yeah.
I think the easier you make that transition, like you chirp them right away, you kind of make them feel comfortable. There's not much of an easing in. It's more you kind of throw them in, and I feel like our culture in our room is incredible. And so for everybody to come in, I think they figure out right away. Everyone loves each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be jokes thrown around. People are going to say some things, but everything's said out of love or to be funny. No one's really being personal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, at least like you said, Miller, Ehlers, all these guys that have came in, they've picked up on it right away, and they're already chirping back and filling in really well. So I think the front office does a good job at kind of picking out those guys and knowing they'll fit. And then it's just up to us to kind of not ease them in, but kind of throw them into the fire. And it's worked so far.
We know more about sports than we do like hockey specific, okay? But we both had the same reaction this summer when it was floated that you might play center. We were both kind of like, now hold on a second. Not that you can't, but it was like, we know what Jarvie is. And really kind of, you're coming into your own. And it just felt like I wouldn't want to ask you to change something to take away from what you are doing. How did you kind of? I don't know how far it got.
Yeah.
I'm sure you volunteered. Most people I know both of you, and I'm sure you guys did. But like, what was your kind of reaction to that? How did that thought process work? And did they ultimately come to you and say, "No, hang on, you're our number one guy on the wing. We can't screw around with this"?
It was definitely floated around. I don't know how serious. I think maybe Tulski was a little bit more serious about it than Roddy was.
Okay.
But yeah, the idea got thrown around a little bit, and I was totally game. It's just another challenge. I think it's something that I haven't played a ton of, but through experience, and when you're playing out 5-on-5, you're going to find yourself playing center.
Sure.
Just in the flow of the game anyway. Yeah. So I feel like it's something that I would have been fine at, and just taking a little bit of time. But I thought it'd be a fun experience and kind of cool to try out. But Roddy, he didn't say anything about number one winger or anything like that. He just said we're not going to try you at center.
Okay. Well, I mean, you understand the hierarchy of the team. I'm not pumping your tires right now. How has Logan been in the middle? How do you think he's handled that move?
He's looked good.
Yeah.
I think. I know the biggest thing for Roddy is face-offs.
Yeah.
And that's something that would be.
Go figure.
Yeah. That would be the toughest part is just that you're taking a lot more draws, and so just to see how you can kind of fare. And from what I've seen in the preseason games, he's done well. He's held his own. It's only going to get better. And so I think his speed and the way he thinks the game through the middle, he's completely built for it. I think just the face-offs would be the big thing, but it seems like so far he's been doing a good job.
We'll let you go on this one. We were both, like everyone else, we were excited at Rod's pregame speech. Not pregame, but the one up in the dinner club upstairs.
Yeah.
Where he was telling you the preseason's one sprint. And then the regular season.
Yeah.
You've been through it now a couple of times. And he was saying, like, hey, there's some guys in this room who've been through it. How do you pace yourself? Because we always joke, you got game 1, you got game 83, and the last couple of years have been really, people are like, okay, show us in the playoffs, you still have to get there. You still have to.
yeah.
You still have to work your game into that form. So,
Yeah.
what have you kind of picked up the last few years of how to kind of pace yourself? And maybe that is the fitness and off-season regimen that you're talking about to kind of make sure you're at your best come May and June.
Yeah. Well, your body breaks down by then. You're
Yeah.
kind of running on whatever you got left. So, pacing yourself, I mean, like, everyone talks about how long the season is. When you get to a certain point, the thing flies by.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh my God, it took forever to get to game 20. And then all of a sudden it's game 75, and like you're either battling for a playoff spot or you're in the playoffs, and you got to kind of get prepared. So for me, it's every day is something new and something fun. I think what I've picked up on from other guys is just kind of trying to work on one thing at every practice or every game, and kind of just building it up that way. And I think that's helped me progress development-wise, but also just kind of keep my sanity in terms of this is like a 6-7 month thing that you kind of got to prepare for. But if you can kind of take it each day, it sounds super cliche, but if you take it each day, it's going to add up and you're going to get better. You can't get worse doing something like that unless you do something catastrophically wrong. So just doing something like that. And then, obviously, like I said, depending on where you are in that standing, kind of the push is a little bit different.
It's where the Harvard education comes through, correcting himself, do the right
Yeah.
word. You still fooled him, by the way.
Listen, though, just so you know, the last time you spent some time with us before the season started, you had a career high in goals. So
I'm looking for another.
Here we go.
It's on.
And I can't wait when you're like 30, we're going to put all 10 of these together.
Oh, God.
Because, right? The first day of school picture?
Yeah. Perfect.
And we're going to look back at this one on the couch like, remember that couch?
Yeah.
Remember that kid?
Yeah.
Seth, we appreciate the time as always, man. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.